I'm Dan Garrison, software engineer at iRacing. Since the beginning of Papyrus and through iRacing, the track has been unchanging through a session. Whatever you have at the beginning is what you have for the duration of the session and the end. The track doesn't change. What we want to do is be able to have the track respond to what's going on, to have cars interact with the track, to have the track change in temperature, in the amount of rubber. We want marbles, and we want those to be generated by the cars, putting them where they should be and picking them up and rethrowing them off the race line. It's a physical-based model that we focus on first and foremost. The tire and the track interaction, what's really going on there. It would be easy to just quickly throw something together. Our standards are, it needs to make sense. What's really going on, even at the molecular level between the track and the tire. The way the track works, essentially, is we divide it up into small cells that your car interacts with. So if you're adding temperature to a certain part of the track, we can pretty accurately know exactly where that is. That gets transmitted to the server. So if I'm in a race, my data is going to the server with everybody else in the session. The server accumulates that and basically broadcasts a consistent track state to everyone, so everyone's got the same track that they're racing on. One of the big challenges was being able to implement this dynamic track with any number of clients connected and have it just work as you would expect. Have it be the same for everyone in the service who's in a session. So to kind of give a little bit of a preview of the state of things right now, I basically have run a number of laps at 5 flags with the effects exaggerated for demonstration purposes so that we can kind of immediately see what's going on with the track. Right here is basically the track at the beginning of the session. There is a little bit of rubber on there that's put programmatically. That's the starting state of this track, and it's fairly low rubber at this point. If we skip ahead to the end, yeah, I did about 30 laps, so at the very end, you can kind of see all this darkened in right here. This is where I was running the car, so, well, there you go. And again, this is exaggerated. A single car in 30 laps is not going to darken the track anywhere near this level. We also have the ability to see the temperature, similar to an IR camera. At the beginning of the session, it's a little bit warm down here. It's very cool up here. As we skip ahead, all of a sudden this part of the track has become very warm. This is where I was running the car. And we can also drag the little thumbnail and see the effect of time as the track cools off and returns back to its equilibrium state. Before we had fairly symmetrical tracks. Now, because the sun is shining at some angle, one side of the track might be particularly hot, and 180 degrees around the track is going to be significantly cooler because the sun isn't really pointing at that. So you're on a track where maybe you basically treated it as 2 equal halves. Now you need to adjust to that. With multiple cars over a long race, you're going to have to seek out where's the grip, where is it going, how is the track changing. It's going to require a much more intelligent approach to racing. You're going to have to be able to handle the track through the life of the race. So in addition to temperature and rubber, we're also spending a lot of time working with marbles, putting them on the track where they should be. Later in a race, you can expect there to be marbles offline, and so a pass might be a little more sketchy later in the race because you're going to have to go through part of the track that has accumulated some rubber. On the oval side, if you want to venture out into, say, the outside line and nobody's been there yet, you can expect to find marbles there. I expect that the track becoming dynamic means that during a race, temperature is going to go up significantly and the grip is going to respond negatively. You will want to be anticipating that, seeking out cooler parts of the track, taking a slightly higher line for a while, testing out, is it faster up here? I fully expect it's going to break up the field. Cars are going to be trying new things. You won't be able to just take a qualifying setup and make a tiny change and then be able to run the same laps over and over. It's going to just become a much more dynamic and unpredictable experience. As significant as this first implementation is in creating a dynamic environment, it's really kind of just sets the foundation for even bigger and better things. We'll be able to handle day-night transitions and a moving sun and clouds coming in and have the track respond to that. We can look down the road and say, well, we'll want to do rain and have water on the track and have it move and have it dry according to where the tires are and how much temperature is there and how much is the sun shining. All these things that happen in a real race, we want to model them, and we are well on our way in being able to do something like that. I think it's great as an iRacing member to see this feature come to fruition. This dynamic track is something that really has been kind of discussed for a long time, and to join the team and be able to bring it to the members, myself being one of them, is very exciting. It's going to change the face of race sessions significantly and really improve the experience.
Truex in the outside, contact made, 56 slides it at a 4, who's going to be at the stripe, dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy. It's been a very long off-season. Teams have changed, sponsors have changed, colors and all, but one thing that hasn't, they like to mash the loud pedal. Green flag is out on the 2015 NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series season.
iRacing is the ideal platform for these broadcasts because we have the best racers, the best online racers in the world, and we have such a variety of racing, from NASCAR to Grand Prix style racing, sports car endurance racing. We do it all.
Since 2010, the iRacing.com World Championship Grand Prix Series has been the absolute pinnacle of road racing in a simulated form. Great start then by Yakoda from the front. They're packing up behind number one. They're going to be 4 wide as they come down into turn number 1 for the first time. Will they make it through that first corner? You can see them funneling through the center S's. It looks as though everyone has just about made it through. We have got ourselves some contact though, Rachel.
Side by side going into turns 3 and 4. Humpy's got the advantage, but Ottinger's not going to.
Oh, he got into him!
Ottinger gets into the 58, turns right into him, and that ends Ottinger's run.
We do a lot of live broadcasts now. Every Tuesday is NASCAR night, so on alternating Tuesdays we do the Peak Antifreeze Series, and on the other Tuesdays the B-Class Series, which is the Xfinity cars, and sometimes we'll even do some short track racing depending on the schedule. Every other Saturday we do the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series, so the best road racers we have. And we also broadcast some special events, including the Endurance Championship, which is part of the Road Warrior Series. So we broadcast the Daytona 24, the Sebring 12-hour, we'll do the Watkins Glen 6-hour, several other races along there. And then, of course, the iRacing Pro Racing Champions, which is usually our biggest and most watched event of the year.
That is short track racing, and that's how awesome this sim is, Joe. That's something you see on TV on highlight reels, and we just saw it here, live.
We invite iRacers who are real-world racers. They compete every December. Guys like Alex Gurney, Justin Wilson, Scott Speed, Ron Capps, the list goes on. Really some big name drivers from all major forms of motorsport. It's really neat to see them get together and race together.
See Laughlin up top, down to the ball, gets turned! Laughlin gets turned! Caution is out foul at the front of the field!
The easiest place to find the broadcast is on our website, iracing.com/live. So you can find some of our races on fanschoice.tv as well. A nice place to find iRacing broadcasts. You can also find it at mrn.com and peakauto.com.
Once its sights are set, nothing can stop the ferocious lion from capturing its prey. Relying on keen senses, lions search patiently before striking with alarming speed. Wait for it. Gotcha, Mr. Piece of Rubbish. He is truly the master of his environment. Do good, be a lion.
Trucking has always been a part of me. It started years ago when my dad and granddad were hauling vegetables to market in Liverpool. The family immigrated to Canada in the late 60s and settled near Alliston, Ontario. I bought my first truck in 1982 and Mercer Trucking was born. Today, Mercer Trucking has over 50 trucks in terminals in Toronto and Los Angeles. Our storage facilities at both terminals can handle any size of distribution needs throughout North America. We service the continental U.S., including Hawaii and Alaska. We run over 120,000 miles per month and some of the best equipment on the road today. We specialize in less than truckload shipments, show freight, we do rush team service deliveries, and haul your refrigerated or heated product. Our regular team service from Canada to California is second to none, and our staff and drivers are among the best in the business. I'm proud of our people and what they can achieve. Trucking is in my blood, it's my livelihood, and it's what I do best.
I'm Dan Garrison, software engineer at iRacing. Since the beginning of Papyrus and through iRacing, the track has been unchanging through a session. Whatever you have at the beginning is what you have for the duration of the session and the end. The track doesn't change. What we want to do is be able to have the track respond to what's going on, to have cars interact with the track, to have the track change in temperature, in the amount of rubber. We want marbles, and we want those to be generated by the cars, putting them where they should be and picking them up and rethrowing them off the race line. It's a physical-based model that we focus on first and foremost. The tire and the track interaction, what's really going on there. It would be easy to just quickly throw something together. Our standards are, it needs to make sense. What's really going on, even at the molecular level between the track and the tire. The way the track works, essentially, is we divide it up into small cells that your car interacts with. So if you're adding temperature to a certain part of the track, we can pretty accurately know exactly where that is. That gets transmitted to the server. So if I'm in a race, my data is going to the server with everybody else in the session. The server accumulates that and basically broadcasts a consistent track state to everyone, so everyone's got the same track that they're racing on. One of the big challenges was being able to implement this dynamic track with any number of clients connected and have it just work as you would expect. Have it be the same for everyone in the service who's in a session. So to kind of give a little bit of a preview of the state of things right now, I basically have run a number of laps at 5 flags with the effects exaggerated for demonstration purposes so that we can kind of immediately see what's going on with the track. Right here is basically the track at the beginning of the session. There is a little bit of rubber on there that's put programmatically. That's the starting state of this track, and it's fairly low rubber at this point. If we skip ahead to the end, yeah, I did about 30 laps, so at the very end, you can kind of see all this darkened in right here. This is where I was running the car, so well, there you go. And again, this is exaggerated. A single car in 30 laps is not going to darken the track anywhere near this level. We also have the ability to see the temperature, similar to an IR camera. At the beginning of the session, it's a little bit warm down here. It's very cool up here. As we skip ahead, all of a sudden, this part of the track has become very...
Good evening and welcome back to LSRTV. We are now here with the iSuperspeedway Series, the shootout here under the lights at the Daytona International Speedway. The dust has settled from the Rod Car Truck Tour Series race that we had just a little while ago. Ryan Pilon took home the checkered flag in that event, and now he's going to try to do the sweep. He's going to try to bring home the checkered flag in the shootout race here tonight. I am Brian Macklin, and alongside of me in the broadcast booth is Jared Haggerty, and our driver analyst on the evening is Bryce Woodson Jr. And as we are running here under warm-up, these guys have about a 10-minute warm-up session where they can just get a feel for their cars. We're seeing a little bit of a draft session going on for these guys, trying to see who they can work with, who they can tandem with, what kind of a push we're going to need here at the end of the race. I'm going to throw it to Jared real quick. He's going to give us a little bit of information on tonight's race and our most recent champion and some things we're looking forward to in the upcoming weeks here in the iSuperspeedway Series.
Yeah, thanks for that, Brian. Going into this series, it's pretty much just going to be a go-for-it-all race. The shootout is basically an introduction for this series, especially some of the new drivers. We have a lot of rookies this year with the recruiting sessions that went on this past week. But the way it's going to work is you have the top 15 that were starting from where it was basically numbers were picked out of a hat, basically. People who won, they got their chance and their numbers were thrown in a hat, and that's how they're starting. 16th through 30th is going to be the people that transferred them to the last chance qualifier. And right now, I'm telling you right now, the best person looking on the track is going to be that number 48, Josh Ball. He was just up here in the booth for the Truck Series, and I'm really looking forward to see what he can do here. He's our defending champion. And Bryce, what do you think of these guys running the Truck Series? How do you think it's going to transfer over to this series?
Well, I'll tell you, Jared, for one thing, these cars are scooting around here quite a bit faster than those trucks were, and they're having a lot of trouble. I'm noticing, especially with a little bit of aero looseness when anyone gets behind them. Now, as some people may have realized in the Truck Series that we broadcast a few minutes ago, the trucks were all in open setup, where these cars are now running the fixed iRacing setup, so the drivers aren't going to be able to make changes, and they're just going to be stuck with what they've got tonight.
All right, and as we approach the 1 minute mark left on the session here for practice, we're going to take an opportunity to go down trackside for our national anthem, and when we come back, we will go through the starting grid and get ready for the green flag here for the iSuperspeedway Series shootout. So now we go trackside for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, welcome back, and that was a beautiful national anthem. And now we are getting ready to go down to the racetrack and get our starting grid. As Jared already spoke about just a little while ago, the first 15 positions in this field were drawn in a hat. Everybody just had a random number drawn, and whatever number they got, that's where they're starting. So there was no qualifying times. This was all strictly just out of a hat. The bottom 15 were the guys that earned their way into this race by finishing in the top 15 in the LCQ race that happened just a little while ago.
Starting on the front row on the pole for tonight's shootout event is the 07 of Derek Walker driving the number 07 Chevrolet SS. To his outside is Rodney Wolford in the number 7 machine. Starting third is Rod Mitten in the number 92 Chevrolet SS, and to his outside, the defending series champion is Josh Ball. Starting fourth and fifth is Kyle Guerry in the number 25.
Starting sixth is going to be the number 2 Wrangler Chevrolet of Diane Garitano. Number 88, Mark Jorgensen Jr. is going to be rolling off second. League organizer Rod Flagg, number 26, is going to be starting 8th. Number 1, a new number this year for Chris Vicini, is going to roll off 9th. And the defending series champion of season 3, the number 94, Frank Brasilia, is going to roll off 10th.
Starting 11 is the 51 of Jason Alt, with the number 8 of Dana Osborne on his outside in 12th. 13th is the 71 of Christian Peterson, with Corey Henry in the number 12 and 14th. 15th place goes to the 088 of Kent Connolly.
All right, and you will see the rest of your running order across the screen as they show up on the menu for you. Real quick, before we go green, we're going to do some picks for everybody tonight. I'm going to take our defending series champion, Josh Ball. I enjoyed working with him in the booth. I think he's going to win tonight. Jared?
I believe he is going to be good, but my money is actually going to go on the number 3 of Brandon Sperko. He showed a lot of speed in the trucks, and he showed a lot of speed all throughout last season. Despite being suspended, he's going to come to the front. Bryce?
All right, and we'll get Bryce's pick in just a moment. We're actually about to go green flag here. 80 laps under the lights at the Daytona International Speedway. iRacing Ford First Mustang makes his way to pit road, and the American green flag is in the air. Derek Walker leads them to the green. He's got a very big push from the 92 of Rod Mitten as they go through the tri-oval and head down turn 1. Rodney Wolford's going to get a big push as well from Josh Ball on the outside line. It's going to be all about who can get the better push as they come off turn 2. These drivers must remember they cannot block a line's momentum. They cannot bump in the corners. They have to give space when they get down to the corners. They can push all the way down the back straightaway here, but when they get to turn 3, they've got to lift. They can't push anymore. We saw during the truck race, there was a little bit of race control jumping in and saying, hey, you can't do that, you can't push. We're going to be interested to see if they have any issues with that. Rodney Wolford is trying to do everything he can on the outside line as they come off turn 4. He doesn't have the help from Josh Ball right now, and as they come down to complete lap 1, Derek Walker is going to lead lap 1 and take it down to lap 2.
Yeah, but he's not going to be leading by much. Rodney Wolford is all over him as they come into turn number 1. He's got a big push there from Josh Ball, number 48. And the outside actually has a much better line here. And they're all bunched up together, and that inside line is just now starting to form. But you can see that once you get all those cars on the line, you can actually make some moves happen. Rodney Wolford's actually got the run here, and he's going to take the lead off here into 3, Bryce.
And they're 2 by 2. There's a wreck going into turn 3.
Oh, and they save it? Oh, no, but Josh Ball, our defending series champion, is going to be in it. That contact was initiated when Josh Ball tried to clear the 07 of Derek Walker there, and he was just not clear going down into 3, and it looked like, oh, man, that was just such bad luck for Josh Ball. Defending series champion was looking to have a good start to the season, but that's not going to be the case.
A huge wreck on lap number 2 of this 80-lap shootout here under the lights. Josh Ball was involved along with Derek Walker, your pole sitter. It looked like Rod Mitten got a slight bit of contact with it. The number 25 machine of Kyle Guerry also got some damage. It also looks like the 88 and I believe the 12 machine. That is Mark Jorgensen Jr. And trying to get the number here, Corey Henry also has a little bit of damage from that accident, and we are under caution for the first time tonight here at the Daytona International Speedway. Rodney Wolford is your race leader as it's scored right now, and I don't expect we'll see anybody down on pit road already. Do you think we'll see anybody on pit road, Jared?
I really, I mean, it's a lap race, but then again, we are running 70% fuel here. But I was looking a little further back. It looked like everybody checked up really, really nice in that. I don't see any other people that got into it other than the people you mentioned earlier. But I mean, this is a really early caution. We're only 2 laps in, and I mean, this is not. I mean, this isn't really good. I mean, it should be running a lot longer, Bryce.
Yeah, that's for sure. But they were kind of pushing and shoving a little bit hard up there. The number 3 kind of got into the back of Josh Ball going through the center of the corner, and that moved him down a little bit. And unfortunately, that's just one of those racing deals. Hopefully, they'll be able to get back out on the track and salvage a good finish out of this. They do get one fast repair, so unfortunately, using that fast repair this early on is going to kind of put you in the hole for the rest of the race.
I was actually getting ready to bring that point up. They do have one fast repair, one fix on their car where they get a brand new race car and they can go back out there. But the issue is, for Josh Ball, his motor actually expired when that wreck happened. It exploded, and he was not able to drive his car back to pit road. He had to take a tow, which means he had to sit on pit road for several minutes, and he has actually lost a lap. So even though he's going to have a fresh car and a fresh motor to go back out there, he's going to have to get his lap back. He's going to have to get back out there and hope that he gets another caution and can get the lucky dog, or do it the old-fashioned way and try to run his way up through the field and get back on the lead lap the hard way and then hope for a caution to come out there. And Jared, that's going to be easier said than done. He's certainly probably going to want the caution, but this is a hole that he did not want to have to be in to start off just 2 laps into this race.
Well, Brian, I didn't want to interrupt you there, but it's actually not that bad for Josh. One of the rules here in this series is that if you are within 5 seconds of the pacing pack and you are a number of laps down, they will wave you around the pace car, and that's one of the big advantages. It gives people a lot more hope of being in this race and being competitive. You may get knocked out early, but Rod does such a good job and is able to wave these guys around, and so they can still be competitive in the race. So Josh Ball is not going to have like a very big, it's going to have a lot of running to do. He's going to have to do a lot of racing to make his way back up through the field. But I tell you what, my pick, Brandon Traverko, who started in 21st, he's now up to 8th.
Well, my apologies for getting that wrong. I'm fairly new to this series and was not aware of that rule, but that is a very good bit of fortune for Josh Ball, and that was my pick. So hopefully he can get back out there and he can try to get up and get into victory lane here tonight. And while we're talking about our picks, I believe, Bryce, you never got to make your pick before we went green, so I know you get to cheat a little bit because we're 5 laps in and you've already gotten a little bit of an idea of what everybody's got, but I'm going to give you an opportunity to make your pick real quick.
I tell you, I'm going to go with Ron Thompson. I really liked him in the truck race earlier. He seemed to be moving real intelligently on that outside and just kind of meticulously making his way through the field as the laps were winding down. And if he wouldn't have been involved with that last wreck, I think he had a good opportunity to win that truck race. So I'm going to go ahead and go with him just because I liked his driving style.
All right, so there you have it. We've got Brandon Traverko for Jared. I've got Josh Ball. And Bryce has Ron Thompson. So going to have a little bit of fun with that tonight. It'll be interesting to see who comes out on top from us up here in the broadcast booth. Have a little bit of bragging rights depending on who goes to victory lane or has the highest finishing position. We'll have fun with that as the night continues. Right now, though, we're working lap 5, and we are still waiting for the lights to go off on the iRacing Ford First Mustang to determine that we will have just 1 lap of pacing remaining before we go back green. We expect that that'll happen when they cross the start-finish line this time by. We'll find out in just a moment. Right now, it's Rodney Walford out in front. Donnie Garitano is in second. Rod Flagg, your league admin, is in third. Dana Osborne is fourth. And Frank Busilia, the third, is in fifth. And Jared, this was a very quick caution. Just 2 laps into the race and they already had an accident. Do you expect that these guys will kind of settle down and maybe just try to get in line and ride? Or is this what we're going to see all night since it's a shootout, non-points race, really nothing on the line other than just go out there and try to win?
Well, if it were me, with an 80-lap race, I would ride. That's just my personal opinion, but being in this series for almost 3 years, I know for a fact that these guys are just going to want to race, and they want the bragging rights more than anything. But, I mean, these guys up in the top, it looks like the top 10, they're all pretty much veterans of this series. We actually only have 1 rookie up there running in the top 10. That's Christian Peterson. He showed a lot of strength, and he actually won the last chance qualifier to get into this race right before we actually run this race. So Christian Peterson, being a rookie, he might be going for Rookie of the Year, Bryce.
Yeah, I'm looking here at what people are doing, and out of all the cars there, only 10 people stayed out and didn't go pit right there. I'm really questioning that call. I think some people gave up some good track position because as this race continues on, I think I want to be closer to the front when we get close to those first pit stops.
And certainly, I think everybody's going to want to be closer to the front. I just want to take a second to call and give a shout out to the number 94. I just saw he's running an old traditional Bill Elliott McDonald scheme, and I think that's really cool to have the throwback scheme out there. That's awesome to see for Frank Basilia. I'm enjoying seeing that car out on track, and I hope to see it up front here shortly. We also got an old Coca-Cola number 3 machine from Brandon Chaburko. So a couple of throwback schemes here tonight. And as we get ready to go back green, we have a Wrangler car on the front row as well. This is number 2 of Donnie Garetano. Irishing Ford First Mustang is in, and the American Ethanol green flag is back out. Rodney Walford's going to take him down to the green flag, and he is on the loud pedal with the number 26 of Rod Flag right on his back bumper as they work down into turn number 1. Rod Flag is all over him, trying to get him clear to the outside so maybe he can make a move for the lead. Not going to be able to do it for the time being. Donnie Garetano with a big push from Dana Osborne as they come off turn 2, heading down the back straightaway. We're going to have a drag race to see who's going to take the lead as they get to turn 3.
Yeah, unfortunately for Garetano, he's not close enough to Dana Osborne to even do anything because Rodney Walford just gets a big push from the number 26 or Rod Flag here. So you can see they all start to get single file down there on the inside. The outside not together yet as Dana Osborne is about a car length back. I can't see the car number there, but it was Brandon Chaburko that just jumped down there to the bottom, leaving whoever. I can't tell who is that up there, Bryce.
I don't know, but we see our league admin, Rod Flag, making an aggressive move to the outside right there, followed by Frank Busilia, and he's going to the front right now. And he gets up next to the 7 of Rodney Walford, gets a little bit of a side draft, and now the 94 is back on the bumper of the 26, heading down into turn 1, and I think the 26 is going to get him cleared this time around.
Well, Jared, you talked about it. You said you didn't expect these guys to ride at all. You expected it to be hard racing, and so far, just a couple of laps into this restart, that's exactly what we've seen. Rod Flag has been able to move to the inside line. He's in front of Rodney Walford, and as they complete lap 8 and begin lap 9, Rod Flag's going to lead the field. But Frank Busilia on the outside line, I was just talking about him in that old Bill Elliott throwback machine. He's challenging for the lead on the outside line. He's got a good push from the number 2 machine of Donnie Garetano on the outside line. Again, they can't push through the corners here, so they have to back off and give them a little bit of space. That's just a safety thing to make sure there's no accidents that aren't necessary in the middle of the corner. And as they work down the back straightaway, they did not get hooked back up. Donnie was not able to get back to the back bumper of the number 94 machine, so they were not able to make a big run. That and there's only 3 cars on the outside line right now. We actually are starting to see a little bit of single file racing as now Brandon Chaburko is going to jump up and make it 4 cars on the outside line. The front 8 are side by side, and then it's a single file train on back for quite a ways, about 10 to 15, maybe more than that. Single file on the inside line, leaving just those 3 cars on the outside trying to make it happen.
Yeah, they're trying to definitely make that happen. Brandon Chaburko actually tried to make it up there, but I'm pretty sure he just realized, hey, it's time to ride. But right now, one person is not time to ride. It's going to be Rodney Walford as Frank Basilia breaks his ankles and goes right back in his spot. He's not going to have any help on the outside, but look who's coming up behind him, number 2, Donnie Garetano. That is his, and we have a car on the apron. That's going to be, we have a caution, Brian.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up with that right now. It looks like it was the 4 machine of Tommy Hall. Got down on the apron and lost it. We're going to catch up because it looks like there might have been some issues ahead of him, and there was the 025 machine is where that all began. Daniel Ferguson, he got a little bit of contact from behind. Looks like the 088 might have gotten into him just a slight bit. There was a little bit of a checkup in front of him, and it just sent him down on the apron, and then there was just a stack up. As you see the replay now, once the 025 had his issues, it caused a stack up from behind, and then Tommy Hall and several others were involved, and we are now under our second ServiceMaster Clean caution of the event. And with that being said, Rod Flag is still being credited as the race leader. We know that Rodney Walford was trying to make a move for the lead, but unfortunately, the way the caution fell, he was not able to do it. Right now, it's Rod Flag, Frank Basilia, Rodney Walford, Donnie Garetano, and Shane McKeechin, your top 5. We're going to take this opportunity while we're under caution to step away and do a little bit of business. So this is LSRTV, the voice of sim racing. We will be right back.
Did Did you know that Lion's sense of vision is so powerful, it actually enables nearby creatures to see better? Here we see lions assisting the offspring of others, while their parents are elsewhere in the wild. Brilliant, isn't it? Making the wild kingdom look much better indeed. Do good, be a lion.
Welcome back to LSRTV. You are seeing a replay of all the cars on pit road, and you're also going to see these guys pacing under yellow here. Rod Flag is your race leader after lap 12 has almost been completed here. They're working around to complete lap 12 and begin lap 13 under our second caution of the evening. And Jared, we were talking under the break. We're having a little bit of a game between the teams up front. We've got the North Star Motorsports team, Rod Flag and Frank Busilia, up there battling back and forth. And then we also have team cars, Rodney Wofford and Donnie Garitano, going back and forth. So this has been a little bit of a game between these four drivers, working together with their teammates and trying to figure out who can get to the front and who can hang each other out. It's been a little bit of fun to watch, and I'm sure they're having fun down on the track.
Yeah, the team aspect really is one of the things that makes this series unique. You need to find people that you can run well with and that will help you get to where you need to go, and that's the front essentially. But Rod Flag and Frank Busilia did a beautiful move. I'm not sure if it was planned, but it sure looked like it. As Rodney came up, he opened that door open, and Frank was able to come down and just get that spot for Rodney, and they were able to leave him behind. But at the same time, you had Donnie Garitano right behind Rodney, so it might have been planned, it might not have. But Bryce, what do you think of the team aspect that this series offers?
Oh, it's definitely have a teammate up near you whenever you're running at the front. It's way too easy, just like we saw there, where Rodney Wofford just kind of got shuffled out of the pack. It's just way too easy for that to happen if you don't have somebody up there with you to rebound on. You know, I was kind of looking here under this last caution. We had 10 guys who stayed out again. The top 10 on the track stayed out, and everybody else went into the pits. You know, I've kind of got to look. You know, we're running 70% fuel. That means we can get somewhere around 30 laps on a tank of fuel. That means by the time we go back green, we're going to have a good 15 laps in. You know, I could see the possibility of stretching this thing for one stop if you really play your fuel strategy right.
Well, not only that, but for the guys that have come to pit road already and gotten fuel, if we stay green, I know that so far through 12 laps or 13 laps, that hasn't seemed to be the case, but if we stay green and we have green flag pit stops, those guys that have been on pit road already, they're going to have less fuel to put in the car, which means a shorter pit stop down on pit road and could get them the track position they want when we get back out there after green flag pit stops have cycled through. That, of course, is if we stay green and we have green flag pit stops, which is certainly a possibility. And I think that these drivers can do it if they settle down just a little bit. We've had a lot of action already in the early stages of this race, and if things just calm down a little bit, I think we'll see some good racing, but a lot of green flag racing. We saw quite a bit of green flag racing in the truck race earlier on. I think these guys are just a little high-wired right now, trying to go out there and get everything they can. we're trying to figure out why Jimmy Todd was given a penalty. We'll have to try to get in touch with race control and see if we can find out what happened there. But for the time being, we're going to worry about the fact that we're about to go back green. The lights are off on the iRacing Ford First Mustang. We're halfway down the back straightaway. And Jared, when we get back around here, these guys are going to get back up to full speed. And what do you expect to see when we go back green?
Well, I'm hoping they'll take my advice and at least single file out for a little bit, because I really do want to see what these guys can do with the green flag run. I mean, these rookies coming in here, they need to get a big green flag run under their belt, especially for guys like Christian Peterson, and that's actually the only rookie I see in here right now. So hopefully they can show them a little bit of what the series is like, and hopefully it's not a caution fest. Excuse me, I butchered that real quick. But right now, I mean, I'm really hoping they will stay single file. Bryce, hopefully they can get down. Why don't you lead us down to the green flag?
All right, the iRacing Ford Mustang's getting ready to pull off to pit road here in just a second. We've got Rod Flag on the pole with his teammate Frank Vasili on the outside. Rod gets on the loud pedal and he's going to pull in front of Frank just there at the start-finish line, and they're off. I really thought Rod would have let off just a little bit and let Frank get down in front of him. As a teammate, that would have been better for the two of them going into turn one. And we're stacking up 2 wide all the way back through 10th place.
As everybody tries to get up to full speed, Rod Flag is going to lead them around as they come off turn 2. He's still the race leader. His teammate, Frank Bucilia, is on the outside line. It's going to be interesting to see. Does Rod jump up in front of him to try to help him get clear to the inside, or does he leave him out there by himself? For the time being, Frank Bucilia is out there by himself. He's looking for help from the number $28 General Machine of Shane McEachin, and right now he's not getting that help. Frank Bucilia has dropped back to at least the 4th position. He might fall further back as they complete lap number 15 and begin lap 16. Jared, it's starting to look like they're taking your advice. They're single file, all except for 1 or 2 cars out on the outside line. Maybe they've taken these couple of cautions and decided it's time to just ride around and give it a break for a little while.
Yeah, that would be definitely the smart thing. I mean, we do have about 65 laps to go, now 64 laps to go. So in my opinion, it'd be really, really smart for these guys to just stay in line, just run their race. Make sure you don't check up, because you see a big checkup all the way back there from Mark Jorgensen back on. You had a really big checkup. So that's one of the only problems about running in a big pack. Yes, you can stay together. Yes, you can just ride and save your fuel. But if that line checks up in front of you, it's going to cause a huge stack up going all the way back, and that could lead to some potential wrecks, Bryce.
It definitely can. I tell you, right now we've got the basically 2 groups of cars. We've got the top about 15 to 20 in a pack up front, and then we've got another pack about a second behind them of 4, and then behind there is just a bunch of stragglers. And it looks like the front pack's getting out a little bit. The 94 goes to the high side. He's followed by the number $20 General vehicle, and it looks like they're getting a good run there on the outside. They're pushing up really hard, and let's see what happens with these two.
When it gets single file like it has been for the last lap or so, this becomes a game of chess. Who's going to pull out and who do you have help from? And right now, the 94 of Frank Bucilia has help from Rodney Walford, who's going to jump up in front of him as they cross the start-finish line. Rodney Walford's going to try to take that lead away from Rod Flag. He's got a big head of steam as they head down into turn 1, but is not able to make the pass as of yet. He's going to need help as they go down the back straightaway. For the time being, Frank Bucilia is not on him. He is not close enough to make anything happen, and it looks like he may have backed out of the gas, maybe a little bit of helping his teammate there. He didn't want to help Rod to get by his teammate Rod Flag out front, and that was not necessarily a bad move, but just a very odd move, I would say. This early on, I would want to get up there and try to push him as hard as you can, but it's whatever. At this point, they can do what they need to do, and Rodney Walford not having the help he needs. He's trying to get that push still on the outside line, but has not been able to do anything with it. And Bryce, it looks like he's going to have to get somebody else behind him if he's going to go up there and challenge for this lead.
I would agree. I've been watching the 94 a little bit and been paying attention to his in-car, and he's definitely not getting up there and pushing on him like he could. I'm not going to say that that's a team move, but it certainly seems like he doesn't want to get up there and push him. So it looks like right now those two, without working together too much, they're just going to be falling back in the pack on that outside, and hopefully they'll get their speed back up here in a minute.
Yeah, and right now it's just the two of them on that outside line. They have, for the time being, settled down up here at the front of the pack. There's about 17, 18 cars in this front pack here, and then there's a little bit of a gap back to the next group. And right now, everybody with the exception of Rodney Walford and Frank Lucilio is single file, and make that now just Rodney Walford as he drops and is left alone. And never mind, Dana Osborne just jumped up to the outside line along with, I'm trying to get a number here, it looks like that might have been the number 38 of Carson DeJohn Tommaso. He's also going to jump up there. So there's a couple of guys that are trying to make things happen, but for the most part, it's single file. And this is going to be very difficult to overcome. When you have this many cars lined up on the inside line by them, in one line, you can't just jump out there with one or two cars and try to make something happen. You almost have to organize something with your spotters and with your teammates and try to get 5 or 6 cars lined up and willing to make that move all at the same time. You have to make it a very organized and coordinated effort if you're going to make something happen. Unfortunately for these guys, that doesn't seem to be the case right now, Bryce, as Frank Bucilia and Brandon Chaburko, they're just jumping out whenever they can, trying to make something happen, and they just don't have enough help out there.
Yeah, it's like, especially with the rule, they can't push each other. Oh, and there we are. We're 3 wide coming out of 2. Oh, we touched. And all right. That was close, real close. They're 4 wide, and everybody's going to get stacked up. It looks like the 94 is going to get the worst of that. He's going all the way to the tail of the field. He lost all that momentum, and with no help back there, he's probably going to lose the draft.
That was a result of 3 wide gone bad. Frank Bucilia in the number 94 machine tried to jump to the outside when the number 88 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. jumped up in front of him, trying to stall out that outside line and take advantage of it for himself. Unfortunately, it did not work out. Frank tried to jump high and go around him on that 3rd line, and they made contact. Frank got the working and nailed it as he's going to lose the draft, and he has heavy damage. Fortunately for him, if he gets a caution, he will be able to get a fast repair on that car and get back out there with a clean car. He has not been on pit road yet, so he would be able to use that fast repair and have a fresh car for the finish of this race, but going to need a caution at this point forward if he's going to get back up there. Meanwhile, up towards the front, Rod Flagg is still your race leader. He's got about a 3-car line behind him, single file, and then you've got Derek Walker, our pole sitter. He's on the outside. He's trying to make something happen with Brandon Chaburko behind him, and now Dana Osborne jumps up in front of him, trying to make something happen down the back straightaway here. They finally have an organized line, about 4 cars on the outside line. They might be able to make something happen. Here comes Dana Osborne challenging for the lead as they go through 3 and 4.
Yeah, it looks like with Derek Walker and Dana Osborne up front, they're actually looking like they're able to make some moves. This definitely shows where when Bucilia was up there, he wasn't really helping out. He was kind of laying back a little bit to help his teammate. But these 3, especially with Brandon Chaburko up there, he was really fast in the truck race and he showed a lot of strength. So I would guess with him up there pushing the 07 and the 8, they might actually be able to do something on that outside line. What do you think, Jared?
Well, that outside line is definitely going to be moving, but I'm really impressed with Brandon Chaburko so far. He's been making the right moves at the right time. He's my pick to win this race, and I'm really hoping he can come through here. But right now, you have the 8 of Dana Osborne. Right now, the 07 Derek Walker is not giving him that push he needs to get up there to the front. If he's going to make that outside line work, he's going to have to get right up onto the bumper of that number 8 of Dana Osborne and just help him, as you can see him doing it a little bit there. But you can see up front, see how close the 2 and the 26 are. They are nose to tail. That's how close the 07 needs to be to the 8. As he gets, and there's a bobble right behind the 12. They get a little bit loose going in there, and that was almost a big, but they're able to save it, and they're going to keep on going at it down the back stretch.
Big bobble and big scary moment for several drivers right there. Corey Henry was in the middle of that, as was the number 83 of Ramon Evans and several others. Fortunately, everybody kept the car straight. They didn't have any accident, but this did spread the front field out. Several guys have lost the front draft now and are going to need some help to get back up there. They're close enough, though, where I think they can do something and get back up there. Right now, though, that makes it a single file line at the front as these guys are working some lap traffic here. Frank Bucilia is included in that lap traffic. He, I believe, might have come to pit road to get his fast repair so that he can be up to speed and not lose too many laps here under green. That leaves Rod Flagg as your race leader once again. with the number 2 of Danny Garitano behind him. The only car really trying to make anything happen on the outside right now is the 8 of Dana Osborne. We see Brandon Chaburko, several cars in line behind him, trying to get up there, but not close enough to make anything happen. And Jared, they got single file for a while. Things have settled down for the most part, but at some point these guys are going to have to come to pit road for green flag pit stops. Several of these drivers haven't been on pit road at all, and with that 70% fuel tank that these guys are being forced to run with, they can't go too much further, can they?
I'm not sure how much farther they... Oh, the number 2 of Osborne gets a big push from Danny Garitano, as now we're going to go 3 wide down the backstretch. Brandon Chaburko with Frank Cilia the third is going to be going on the outside. I don't know if Brandon's going to be able to hold this momentum, but he's going 3 wide. We know him for going 3 wide. That's what he was made famous for on this series. It doesn't look like it's going to work this time, but he made a big attempt at the lead there, going out of 3. But oh my goodness, Danny Garitano coming up right into the 8 of Dana Osborne. That caused a huge stack up throughout the second lane. Brandon Chaburko just tried to take advantage of that, but was not able to, as Rod Black continues to lead this on the outside. But right now, the number 83, Ramon Evans, is going to be given a push. He's close enough to give Osborne a push. Let's see what he can do down the backstretch, Bryce.
Yeah, Dana Osborne is moving up on that outside line. He's getting up next to the 2 right about now, but that 83 is just not sitting with him. They're just not sticking together like they need to in order to get that run that they need to take the lead. But we were talking fuel mileage here a few minutes ago, and what I'm showing is that there's about 10 cars out there that are running on about lap 28, 29 of their fuel tank. Now I know we had some caution laps in there, but from my calculations, they can only get about a max of 30 laps out of a tank, so they'll definitely be coming to pit road here soon. And especially given that this is an 80-lap race, I'd say that all these cars are in their fuel window about now.
We've had about 7 or 8 laps of caution flag laps, and we know that the ratio is usually 2 caution laps to 1 green flag lap. So if you do the math there, they can probably go to about lap 34 or 35 maybe at the most. That's not going to put them in a window where they can make it on 1 stop, but for the guys that have been on pit road under the cautions that we've had, they can go a little bit further, and then they might be able to make it close to a 1-stop race. And if not a 1-stop race, they could certainly make it a splash and go at the end. This is going to be an interesting strategy to see whose strategy comes out on top. Now, if the other interesting part is if these guys all elect to pick together, the guys that have been on pit road already, they have less fuel to put in the tank. When they fill it up, they're not going to have to wait as long. They'll be able to get off pit road 2 or 3 seconds quicker than the rest of them, which could play out big in their favor. If they can get that kind of a gap over the field, they can stay in line single file, work together, and hold on to that lead. Right now, we see somebody has dropped out of the racing groove. The 88 of Mark Jorgensen Jr., we're going to have to follow up on that. Maybe he's running low on fuel and needed to fall back. We're looking to see if he's going to come to pit road. He does not for the time being, so not really sure. Maybe he saw something he didn't like and elected just to fall back for the time being. We'll have to follow up on that. And Jared, they're starting to get a little racy back up front here. Maybe they realize they want to try to get some track position before they have to come to pit road.
Well, it really depends on when you're going to come in. I mean, if you're going to come in anytime soon, you want to be down that bottom. But right now, the guys that are on the outside, they may have pit already. I'm not sure who has pit up in that front pack right there. The guys on the outside, maybe they haven't pit. Maybe they think they can stretch their fuel a little bit longer. But I don't think the number 8 of Dan Osborne has pit yet. So this is going to be really interesting to see who does come in here at what time. And we're coming around the 4. Any takers? Nope, not this time around. And here's one interesting thing with Daytona. When you're pitting on this track, you have to slow your car down way before, right as you come off the exit 4. And that can make for a really tricky entrance. And Bryce, both of us knowing as drivers, I mean, you have to really be able to slow your car down and keep it under control here.
Yeah, there's a lot of threshold braking coming off of 4 and going down to the pit road here at Daytona as well as at Talladega. You know, we're woeing these cars up from 200 miles per hour all the way down to 55 miles per hour for the pit entrance. I'm seeing some chatter here on the scanners. It sounds like some cars may be coming in this time. Yes, the Henrik cars are coming in this time around, and the Wicked cars. You want to take them on pit road, Brian?
Yeah, we've got the number 7 machine of Rodney Walford and Donnie Garantano in the number 2 machine on pit road. We've also got Carson Dijon Tommaso right behind them, all coming down pit road. Also, as you mentioned, the Hendrick cars are on pit road. It looks like for the time being, everybody's going to take at least right side tires. They're going to have to sit there long enough where it's going to be worth taking right side. It looks like 2 tires only for most of these guys here. Down and away is Carson Dijon Tommaso and Rodney Walford. Everybody gets a clean stop. It's going to be interesting. It looks like the number 38 and 7 get a very clean exit off pit road. They have to stay on the apron until they get all the way around to the back straightaway, so they can't merge.
Whoa. Brian, we have a lot of cars coming down here at the same. We got number 26, Rod Flag, Brandon Chaburko, Dana Osborne, Jason Noltmans, Derek Walker, Shane McKeechin, and Ryan Pytland all coming in to get service, and that was a hairy entrance. They all scattered to make sure they got clear of each other, but right now it looks like your leader out of all this is going to be, I think, the 83 of Ramon Evans, as he actually stayed on the track with the number 71 of our rookie this year. That's going to be the Christian Peterson. Next time by, are they going to come in? They are going to come in. The 83 and the 71 are coming down for service. Bryce.
Yeah, kind of the worst one out of that deal was the number 1 of Chris Bassini. He came off a 4 there and was stuck on the outside and ended up going through the grass, and I think he got a 15-second penalty for an unsafe pit entrance. So he's going to end up being the one who got the worst end of that whole deal. But it was definitely a real cluster coming onto pit road here this last lap.
As they work through this round of green flag pit stops, we're waiting to see how the field's going to cycle through. Right now I'm looking at it, and Brandon Chaburko is out in front of Rod Flag by a huge margin, at least 1.5 seconds, maybe 2 seconds over Rod Flag. That's a major disadvantage for Brandon because he has no draft whatsoever. Right now at the front of the field, though, we have Sean Turner and Jimmy Todd. They both have not pitted, but when they do, we will see that Brandon Chaburko and Rod Flag will be your front runners. And actually, check that. Rod Flag and help with the number 28 or Shane McKeechin, they are going to fly right by Brandon Chaburko. And I'm hearing from Jared, I believe it was, that Sean Turner and Jimmy Todd have already been on pit road.
Yeah, Sean Turner and Jimmy Todd actually pitted, I think, on that either that first or second caution there. They were able to stretch their fuel a lot longer than a lot of these guys, so they'll be able to run at least 10-15 more laps here. And I mean, Bryce, this fuel strategy, is it going to help them in the long run, or is it going to hurt them in the long run?
Really, if they stretch this a little bit farther, they're going to be in a window where they can almost make it on one stop. Not quite. They're going to be able to. Right now, it looks like they're going to probably be able to get to about lap 45 or 50. But these cars are getting somewhere close to 30 laps on a tank of fuel. So if they are able to stretch it to that 50 lap mark, they're going to actually be able to finish this race on just one more stop, where pretty much everybody else in the field is going to have to take 2.
And being in a position like that, they're out of the main draft. They have no help from anybody else around them. And with this track taking about 45 seconds to get around, could they gamble and maybe just try to save fuel so that they can make it to lap 50 and then they can make it to the end on fuel? Bryce, I'm going to go back to you real quick. Would they maybe take that chance to try to go for the win? Or do they just hope that a caution comes out so they get caught back up and they have to run their way through the field?
At this point in time, I think the best strategy call is to stay out as long as they can and see if they can get a caution. They've got 13 seconds on the field. I don't think they're going to be able to save enough gas to make that work, even if they were to get out of it at this point. They should just keep going like they are and run this fuel run out. And with any luck, right when they're getting ready to run out of gas, they'll get a caution and come down pit road, and that'll put them on the catbird seat for the next run.
Well, Bryce, that may be true, but here's the problem. You have at least 3rd through 9th all lined up single file. That last time around, it was 13.1 seconds. This time around, 11.7. So they're gaining almost 1.3 seconds a lap on these cars that are just running 2x2. So, I mean, in the long run, I don't think it's going to help them. I think it's actually going to be hurting them more than anything, as they're going to have to pit here. Brian, what do you think this fuel strategy is going to save for their chances here? Because I really don't think it's going to help them here in the long run.
It's going to be very difficult for them to make it work, especially with the number 26 of Rod Flag leading this field around, as they are actually double file through this group. But even so, they're still running them down by almost a second a lap, sometimes a little bit more than a second a lap. So I think it's going to be hard for them to do this. One thing that could work in their favor, since they can go another 5, 6, maybe even 7 laps on a tank of gas, is they could hope for a caution right around the point where they have to pit. And most likely at that point, you'll see everybody come back down the pit road, because it'll be very close to the window where they can come to pit road and be good to go to the end on fuel. So that could be something where they would be maybe looking for a caution. They'll keep their track position. They'll come to pit road with everybody. And as we work lap 40 here, we are at the halfway point. We're going to take an opportunity to do our mid-race rundown, where we're going to give you a full field rundown of where everybody is running, and then we will go through the, just a couple of the strategy plays, and then we'll catch up with everything there. Right now, out front in the number 36 machine is Sean Turner. He is being pushed around this track by Jimmy Todd. About 9 seconds back now is Rod Flag in the 3rd position. Shane McKeechin is in 4th, and Brandon Chaburko is in 5th. And Jared, I believe you've got 6th through 10th.
I do. The number 12 of Corey Henry is going to be 6th. 7 of Rodney One of the Wicked Boys is going to be 7th. The number 71, the rookie, Christian Peterson. We've talked about him a little bit. He's doing good in his first run out here. He's running 8th. Number 38, the Big Black Motorsports, the only Big Black Motorsports car out there, Carson D. John Tommaso, is going to be running off night. And the truck winner, number 41, of Ryan Pylon, having a good run, currently running in 10th.
In that second group with Ryan Pylon, we've got Derek Walker in the number 07. He's been having a pretty good run. He was running up front for most of the beginning of the field, but right now is just in the second group. Then you also have Dana Osborne. Dana and Derek have been working together for a lot of this race. And then following up there in 13th is Frank Brasilia. Frank was unfortunate. He was involved in that early incident, got shuffled back to here to this part of the pack, but it seems like he's been coming back pretty strong. Then you've got the number 2 of Donnie Garitano, as well as the number 5 of Tanner Mann here in this second field. And it looks like we have our leaders on pit road, both Sean and
Jimmy Todd and Sean Turner are actually down to give their service here. And it looks like it was only a gas and go for Jimmy Todd and Sean Turner as they're going to head back onto the track here. But that's going to put Brandon Chaburko to the lead here. And it looks like Corey Henry is actually going to be in second now, as you have these guys actually starting to get a little bit racy. They're not riding single file anymore. They're going to be going to 2x2s with Rodney Walford here on the outside and pushed by the rookie, number 71 of Christian Peterson.
While all that is going on at the front, we'll finish the full field rundown right quickly. We were waiting for scoring to update since Jimmy Todd and Sean Turner came to pit road. We left off at 16th position, which is the number 088 of Kent Connolly. He is in the 16th position. He's barely hanging on to the back of the draft. He needs a little bit of help or he's going to lose it completely. 17th is Carson Gijon Tommaso. He is actually on pit road right now, also getting some fuel for his car. In the 18th position, who was just out in front, is Sean Turner, and Jimmy Todd is right behind him in the 19th position. 20th is Daniel Ferguson. And Jared, I'll let you go ahead and finish up the field here, and then we'll get going with the battle up front.
Number 1 of Chris Bassini is going to be running 21st. 22nd will belong to Ron Thompson. The 25 of Kyle Gary is going to be 23rd. The 02 of Mitchell Reeves is 24th. 51 of Jason Altman. The Best Buy Chevrolet is going to be 25th. Number 92 of Rod Mitten is 26th. And 31 laps down is retired for the race. Number 4, unfortunately, Tommy Hall is going to be running in 27th. Rounding out the field as we go back racing here to the front, and you have the number 12 of Corey Henry, who was actually gone to the lead. It looks like Brandon Chaburko got shuffled out there, Brian.
Yeah, while all that was going on, Brandon Chaburko did have just that happen to him. There was a big move, and he got stuck out on the outside line with no help, and he fell all the way back to the 6th position. We have about a 6-car breakaway at the front. They have almost 7 seconds over the 7th place driver of Dana Osborne. And as we work lap number 45, we're going to take this opportunity to step aside and do a little bit of business, but we're going to do it LSR TV side-by-side style. That way you don't miss a thing. So this is LSR TV, the voice of sim racing, and we will be right back.
outside contact made. 56 slides it at a 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even. Give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
Welcome back to LSRTV's live coverage of the I Super Speedway Series, their shootout here as they kick off the next season in their series. Corey Henry is the race leader right now, followed by Shane McKeechin, and we actually are watching these leaders work through a little bit of lap traffic. They came up while we were under commercial break on a group of about 6 cars that were all drafting together and put those drivers a lap down. So now there's a few extra players in the front pack, and while all that's going on, I believe, Bryce, you were talking a little bit under the commercial break about Frank Busilia. He's on a strategy where he's going to need to come to pit road here very, very soon. He's got to be running on fumes right about now.
Yeah, I'm seeing Frank Busilia. He's going to probably have to come to pit road here within the next 2 or 3 laps. However, that puts him in his pit window to make it to the end of the field, or the end of the race. And he's got quite a few guys that are racing around him. In fact, quite of those guys are teammates with Henrik Motorsports. So, you know, I'd be working deals with those guys for all of them to come down together here somewhere in the next 1 or 2 laps. And, you know, that might give them an opportunity to leapfrog in front of this front group.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out for him and for Jared. For these guys up front, now they're having to deal with some lap cars, guys that are possibly going to be racing to get their lap back and may not show the same respect that the lead cars have been showing throughout the course of this green flag run. We do see that right now the one machine of Chris Passini and the 22 of Ron Thompson, they've kind of split up this lead pack here as they're on the inside trying to make something happen, trying to get their lap back the hard way. And now we have a battle for the lead chain. McKeachin jumps up high, but he has very little help out there.
Yeah, Chaburko actually just made a hole there between the 282 and he just split the 22 and the 71, and we actually got word from Race Control that the number 94 is actually going to be coming in this time by, so we're going to see what happens here. Does he bring anybody with him? He does not. He actually, no, he does. He brings number 2. The Wicked Autosports guy of Donnie Garitano has decided to come in with Frank Brasilia and try to make it to the end. So, interesting fuel strategy here for Donnie Garitano, as he was good for at least another 10-15 laps, but he's going to try to gamble and make the run here with Frank Brasilia, one of the defending champions of this league.
I'll tell you, Jared. Frank and Donnie will hook up together right here and work with each other and push each other, and possibly even catch on to this group that's behind them with Raymond Evans and Kent Connolly. I could really see them doing something and moving through the pack, because in my opinion, just having a couple cars out there, you can kind of push a little harder and you don't have to worry about the traffic around you, as well as you can take a more preferred line around this track.
The other very interesting thing right now going on is there is a lap run between Corey Henry and Brandon Chaburko up front, and actually the two of and the 94, they are separated right now. They are not going to be able to work together the way we were talking about there, as the number 2 machine of Donnie Garitano is way behind Frank Brasilia, so Frank's either going to have to wait up for him or hope that he can lock on to somebody here in this front pack. He's actually going to lose that draft, and now he's got a few more cars behind him trying to maybe he can hook up with. But up front here, we have that lap car, Chris Passini, separating Corey Henry and Brandon Chaburko. So for Brandon Chaburko, he's not only got to pass one car to take the lead, he's got to pass 2, and that's going to be very difficult being a single file up front. He's got Rod Flagg right behind him. He's got the 71. The rookie to this series, Christian Peterson. I want to give him a quick shout out here. He's having a very solid run up there in the 4th position right now. But it's going to be a lot harder, Jared, to make that move, knowing you have a lap car in between the race leader and yourself. You've got to get around 2 cars instead of 1. That's going to make things very difficult for him.
Maybe difficult for most drivers, but with Brandon Chaburko, we're known for seeing him make outstanding moves and put his car where it really doesn't belong and still making it stick. But right now, I wouldn't be really worried. Corey Henry, right now, you're sitting good. You just need to make it to the next pit stop, and then you can worry about racing. I mean, right now, your goal is pretty much just stay in this single file line, make sure you can make it to the end. As you actually see the number 1 there, Chris Passini said, I've had enough, I'm going to let y'all go right now. And I think the one just realized, I need to let these guys race and just accept that I'm a lap down, because if you get a caution, you're pretty much right back into this.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that some of these guys in this lead pack aren't peeling off, especially some of the teammates. I mean, everybody should be good to go from here on fuel. So, to me, if it was me out there, I would have already peeled off, gotten my fuel, and continued on just to stay out of the mess. And if there's a wreck, I don't have to worry about anybody wrecking around me. But to each their own, as they say.
The big thing about coming to pit road now is, as we mentioned, if you come to pit road, you're good to go on fuel. You don't have to come back down pit road unless, for whatever reason, you get caught up in an accident. For these guys that are about 6.5, 7 seconds behind, I think I'd come to pit road now and hope for a caution before the rest of the field comes to pit road, because if that happens, guess what? They're going to have the track position. They probably won't lose a lap. They'll be able to take the lead, and these guys will have to come down pit road. They'll have the track position, and they'll make Corey Henry and Brandon Chaburko have to work a little bit harder to go up there and try to take this lead back. For Corey Henry and Brandon Chaburko and the rest of these guys up front, I'm kind of curious, like Bryce was saying, why they haven't come to pit road yet. I've been out there on the track before, and I know with super speedway racing, the moment your fuel window opens and you know you can make it to the end on fuel, you want to be on pit road right away. That way, if that caution comes out, there's no concerns about track position. You know you're going to be able to stay out under caution, get back up to the front, and not have to worry about trying to fight through the field again. So I'm kind of confused too as a former driver out there, knowing what these guys are going through. And Jared, at some point we got to see them come back down.
Yeah, and I'm really expecting that within at least the next 5 laps. I'm sure these guys know they can't wait to get their fuel. I mean, they're going to have to come in as early as possible. I mean, the first, as we've seen time and time again throughout iRacing, it seems like the people who come in first always end up out front with the lead at the end. So, I mean, if I am Brandon Schuberger, if I'm Corey Henry, if I'm Rod Flagg, if I'm a rookie, Chris Peterson, I want to come in. I need fuel right now. And in my opinion, they should come down this time by, Bryce.
I would agree. They do need to get down there. You know, we were just looking the second pack. That front pack got to racing for a while, and the second pack started catching them. But now the second pack's starting to get a little racy here with the number 8 on the outside of Dana Osborne, and you know, they're starting to get side by side to do some racing in that second group.
This is a game of cat and mouse right now, because for these guys, there's not a lot of team cars in that front group. You've got a rookie up there in Christian Peterson. You've got Rod Flagg up there with Rodney Walford and Brendan Schuberger. You've got a little bit of a mixture up front, so you don't have all your teammates bunched together like you would hope. In an ideal situation, in the ideal world, you'd want to have your teammates lined up bumper to bumper to bumper. That way, you guys can come in the pit road in unison and work together, and it makes that decision so much easier. But for these guys up front, especially for like Christian Peterson, the rookie to the series, if he peels off on pit road by himself, he's going to be out of the draft and he's going to be out of contention. And that goes the same for everybody else up front. If you peeled off pit road and you do not have help, you're going to lose the draft. And we have the Handrick cars coming down pit road, as all of them, the 88 Mark Jorgensen, the 48 of Josh Ball, and the 5 of Tanner Mann, they are working together. That is the team aspect, working together. Now they're on pit road, they're getting their tires, they're getting their fuel, they're down and away. Looks like going to be a very clean pit stop for all 3 of them. And if they can come out very close together, they can work together here and maybe make up some time on the front pack. And Jared, this works out in their favor if we get a caution before anybody else pits.
Well, we actually have a few cars coming in pit. One of them, to be noted, is number 7 of Rodney Walford. He's actually going to come in with the number 36 of Sean Turner and the 088 of Kent Conley, I think it is. I believe, hold on, yep, the 088 of Kent Conley. He's also going to bring down Daniel Ferguson, Derek Walker, and it looks like, yep, that's it. And Dana Osborne also. So, I mean, these guys are going to be making a fuel strategy last year as Corey Henry still leads, but it's still staying out on the track. And in my opinion, he really needs to come in at this point, because the more time you stay out there, you're going to have a bigger problem. You're not going to, they're actually going to be coming in. And, oh, the 71 is getting way too hot. Hopefully he can slow it down here. He does. And he split the number 12 and the number 3 there. Oh man, that was really crazy going into that pit, Bryce.
Yeah, it was definitely crazy getting in there into the pit road, but you know, all those guys did need to get on. Looks like most of them are going to be stopping, taking the left side tires again and fuel to get back out there. You definitely don't want to stay on pit road any longer than you have to. You know, I was just, and it looked like Brandon Schuberger is going to be the first off pit road with the number 71 of Christian Peterson second, and the 28 of Shane McEachin coming off 4th on pit road. So hopefully they can get back hooked up together.
Yes, right. It looks like that is everybody who. No, it's not everybody who's pit. Bryce, who has not pit yet?
So still out on the track, the number 38 of Carson Dijon
Tommaso, Bryce.
Dijon Tommaso, and then the 36 of Sean Turner are both going to have to make another stop, as well as the 18 of Jimmy Todd are all still looking like, with their fuel strategy, they're going to have to make another stop.
As we work through this round of the green flag pit stops, we're waiting on the rest of the field to come to pit road so we can sort out who's going to be the race leader. As it stands right now, it looks like we're going to have a battle for what would be the lead between Brandon Chaburko and the rookie in this series making his debut tonight, Christian Peterson. They're side by side right now battling, and actually they're being scored as the race leader, so I do believe everybody has come to pit road and it has been sorted out here at this point. At least the guys that have not pitted were far enough behind where they were not able to take the lead. So your race leader right now is Brandon Chaburko. He's followed by the number 12 now of Corey Henry in the second position, and Christian Peterson's been shuffled back to third. Rod Flagg just barely hanging on to the draft back there. He's in the fourth position. And then we have a little bit of a gap back to Shane McKeechin and the 7 of Rodney Walford. They're going to need a little bit of help to get back up there. Maybe Rod Flagg is hanging back just a little bit to maybe pull them up there so they can challenge and have 7 or 8 cars instead of just 3 or 4. I think Rod knows with only 4 cars in the front pack, his chances of going up there and winning this race are very minimal, Jared. And if he can bring a few more guys up there to help him get a run on the outside line, he might be able to make something happen.
Yeah, he'll definitely have a better chance. And Rod is no stranger to winning here. I mean, he is the season 4 champion. He was able to just edge that over the number 98 of Greg Hooks, who unfortunately is not having the best luck here today. Could be a little bit better. Well, actually, he's not even in this race, so I guess he wouldn't be having good luck. But right now, Rod Flagg is actually going to be getting past here of number 28. He didn't have any help, and now he's going to be in big trouble as he's not going to have a partner at all, as the 28 and the 7 are actually going to clear him here. Rod Flagg's going to move back into P6, and Brandon Chaburko is still going to be leading here, but the number 28 and the 7 did a beautiful job of getting through Rod Flagg, as he's actually going to be falling off the lead pack here maybe a little bit even more. So it looks like his only chances are the lap cars. The number 1, Chris Bassini, the big city car, and the number 22, Bryce's pick earlier for the win, Ron Thompson.
Yeah, Rod definitely got hung out to dry a little bit right there. He's fallen back somewhat, but he does have a little bit of a safety net in the 1 and the 22. But really the field right now has gotten really spread out, and I hate to say it, but this is one of those times when NASCAR really needs to throw a precaution and bring these guys back together to make it an exciting race at the end of the going.
The interesting thing that I have been watching over the last couple of laps is that Ryan Pilon and Dana Osborne and Sean Turner and all those guys back there in that second group, they've stayed organized, they've stayed single file, and they actually made a little bit of time. They lost about a 10th on this last lap, but they were gaining almost a second a lap right after the green flag pit stops ended. And if they can keep doing that, if they can keep marching up there, they could get close enough to maybe they can make a move and have a chance. And these guys up front, they're going to start racing at some point. It's just a matter of when. It's actually, we almost have contact going through the tribal. Shane McKeechin looked like he maybe was going to make a move to the outside. Rodney Walford didn't want to go with him. And then Shane McKeechin tried to jump back in line, and it was not a move that he could make because he was going to end up getting turned. And that's going to shuffle him back to the 5th position, and he's just barely clinging to the back of that draft right now. But back to what I was saying, if these guys get racing side by side, which we expect that they'll do at some point, that's going to break the air up some, and it's going to slow their times down, and that could allow Ryan Pilon and Dana Osborne and the rest of those guys in that second group to get up there and challenge. If they just stay single file and they keep chugging along, they might actually have a chance to win this thing.
Yeah, but unfortunately there is only about maybe 10 laps to go here, so realistically, yes, they have a good chance, but right now they only gained 1/10. So just in my opinion, I don't think they have enough time. And actually, I just got reported it's been 7/10. I don't know, but big action up front now. We actually have the 71 going for the lead. The rookie, Christian Peterson, said, Brandon Chaburko, I know you are the big veteran here, and I'm coming after you. So he's gotten a big push from Shane McKeechin now, but it dies off, unfortunately. But Christian Peterson showing his teeth on what he can do in this league. The rookie is showing that he is a force to be reckoned with.
It's funny, we talk about Christian Peterson like he's a rookie to sim racing in general, but he's really not. He's been around for quite a while. He's just a rookie to this series. A lot of these drivers are probably familiar with how Christian Peterson races and how he is on the racetrack, and I'm sure he's got some friends out there somewhere. We just may not know about them directly, but for Christian Peterson, that was an impressive move. Unfortunately for him, he got hung out on the outside line with no help. Everybody ducked to the inside line, and he's going to get shuffled back. It looks like Rod Flag might open the door for him. He thinks better of it, though. He's actually going to stay in the gas and is not going to allow Christian Peterson to get in for the time being. We see an aggressive move by Brandon Chaburko up front. He's kind of moving around and trying to maybe break up that air just a little bit and slow those guys down. And I want to go back to that second group again. They just chunked out another 7/10 of a second off that front group. They're slowly starting to march their way up there with 10 laps to go on the board. They have time. If these guys up front start racing again, they're going to get there. I have full confidence that group will get there. And Jared, it's going to be interesting because now they're single file up front again, but for how long? They're running out of time. If you're Christian Peterson, if you're Rod Flag, if you're Shane McKeechin, you can't afford to sit here single file for too much longer. You're going to give away a chance to win this shootout.
Yeah, because one thing you got to consider is that iRacing, if there's a caution with less than 4 laps to go, iRacing does not have green-white checker finishes. That's one big thing here. Do you wait and make your move at the last minute, or do you just stay where you are? At this point, I think you got to go. You got to give it everything you have. You have to start making deals right now. So I think we actually have the number 28. Yep, they're sticking their nose out. Here goes the number 7 of Rodney Wofford. He's going to lead, and Brandon Chaburko is going to pull the block, and he's going to actually open the door for the number 12 of Corey Henry. What a great crossover move as Corey Henry comes down. Shane McKeechin actually came down to help the 12. Brandon Chaburko got screwed there, and it looks like he's going to lose even more positions as the 7 has a chance to go down here, but he does not take it. Rod Flag is actually going to be going down here, and 7 is going to take it 3 wide going into turn number 1, and he thinks better of it as well as they have a lap car coming out here on the outside. But what a great move by Corey Henry and Shane McKeechin.
Yeah, that was an aggressive move that did not pay off for Brandon Chaburko. He moved up thinking he could block the run on the outside line, and it's actually going to cost him not only the lead, but several positions from right now. He's back around the 4th position, depending on where they go. Christian Peterson slides up and almost makes contact with the number 3 of Brandon Chaburko. It looked like he might have missed the entrance to the corner just a slight bit, and he slid up and almost made contact to the left rear of Brandon Chaburko. That's going to allow the 12 of Corey Henry to pull out to a little bit of a lead. Now they're side by side once again. Shane McKeechin is right there trying to make something happen on the outside. He's got a push from Brandon Chaburko, but only Brandon Chaburko. There's only 2 cars out on that outside line. The other 4 are all lined up on the bottom, and the 2 lap cars behind them, Chris Passini in the 1 and Ron Thompson in the 22, they're staying just far enough back. I feel like they're probably doing that by design, allowing these leaders to race this thing out without the interference of a lap car. Rod Flag, out of nowhere, has moved up into the 2nd position. He got a good push, and now he's got the rookie Christian Peterson on his back bumper. Rod Flag looking to make a move. It's going to be all about timing now. When do you go? Who do you go with? And do you have help? Brandon Chaburko gets a little bit sideways. He clipped the apron and is going to lose a lot of time and a lot of momentum. That could cost him his shot at this race, as he might lose the draft here, Jared.
No, he's actually going to be safe here. He's got the number 1 and the 22 of Chris Passini and Ron Thompson as his buffer. That is his only saving grace. Is actually Shane McKeechin got shuffled out of line there. Now he's going to have a little bit of help, try to get back up there, but we are only going to come up to having 5 laps to go right now, and I still don't think Dan Osborne and them are close enough to make a run, but they are coming. The number 8 car is leading that. The number 41 of Ryan Pilot is leading that charge, and they are coming hard right now as they are, I think, coming this time by. Let's check real quick. Yes, 2.2 seconds. I don't know if that's enough time, but right now, Rod Flag and Shane McKeechin and Brandon Chaburko, they have to do something to catch these lead 3 cars. You have the number 12, Corey Henry, leading, as actually the 71 is going to be going to the outside. The rookie, Christian Peterson, going for the lead. He's going to take the lead going into 3.
Christian Peterson with a big aggressive move on the outside line, and he's got all the help in the world. He's got 4 cars lined up behind him, and actually no, he pulled to the inside. Rodney Walford decided to stay on the outside line, and now Rodney Walford and the 7 machine is going to lead them as they come down to the stripe. 4 laps remaining, and a big thing to know now, if the caution comes out from this point forward, the race is over. iRacing does not have green-white checkers, so if a caution comes out, we will not go back green, and whoever is your race leader will take home the checkered flag in this iSuperspeedway Series shootout. Right now, Christian Peterson is trying to do the unthinkable. He's trying to come home in victory lane in his debut race here in the iSuperspeedway Series, and what an incredible way to debut if you can bring it home in victory lane. The other very interesting thing is about a second behind these guys is that second group. Ryan Pilon and Dana Osborne, Mark Jorgensen, Josh Ball, they have ran them down. We have a battle for the lead again. Corey Henry jumps up to the outside line. He's actually not going to lead the lap. Christian Peterson held on just barely, but he's got a big push from Shane McEachin as they work through turns 1 and 2.
These guys are battling hard now as they go with only 3 more laps to go. But the Jaws music is playing as number 41 of, 41 of Ryan Pilon that smells blood in the water as he won the truck race earlier tonight. He wants to win this race, the opening of the ISS. Can he do it and come back from behind? He is only about 5 car lengths back now as they're going to come by this time. 2 laps to go, going into the iSuperspeedway shootout for Season 6.
Season 6 the opener for Season 6 is almost complete. 2 laps remaining. Christian Peterson still out front. Corey Henry tried to make something happen. He didn't have enough help. He's going to have to fall back and gather it up. As they work down the back straightaway, though, Ryan Pilon and Dana Osborne are there. They have caught this group. They're going to have a lap and a half to try to make something happen. As now we are going crazy up front. Rodney Walford tried to duck out. Shane McEachin also tried to duck out. He's stuck on the outside line. Here comes Ryan Pilon. He's going to make a move to the outside. Will he make it 3 wide? Here they come to the white flag. Christian Peterson's only 2.5 miles away home from his first victory in the iSuperspeedway Series.
The race is on. 1 more lap to go. From here on out, there are no cautions. They contact the number 71. It's wrecking. And the only one who gets through is the number 26 of Rod Flag, the defending champ. And the 48, no, he gets turned. And Rod Flag is going to be, he is going to be all alone here. And it's got Rod Flag, what a race he ran. He was behind almost a full 5 seconds. Comes back, and he is going to come out of 4. Brian, take it home.
A different race, same finish. A wreck on the last lap opens up the victory lane for Rod Flag in the number 26. He's going to win the Season 6 opener, the iSuperspeedway Series shootout. Rod Flag is your winner. Dana Osborne, after an impressive run back up through the field trying to catch the lead pack, he's going to finish 2nd. Mark Jorgensen Jr. is going to finish 3rd. Ryan Pilon is going to finish 4th. And Josh Ball is 5th. Both of these races tonight, Jared, ended with a big wreck on the last lap, and an unsuspecting winner is going to come home once again. In the first race, it was Ryan Pilon, and in this one, Rod Flag is going to take home the checkered flag.
Yeah, it looked like after the race, we have the replay going up, but actually it was interesting after the race. I don't know if it was retaliation or anything, but he just gave the 8 car a big shot. I'm not sure if it was retaliation or not, but we're taking a look at the replay right now. It looks like the number 3... Well, actually, Brian, I don't have the replay up. Why don't you tell me what happened?
Well, it was just an incredible moment there. Christian Peterson was doing everything he could, trying to block, trying to make something happen, and the 7 of Rodney Walford got a little crossed over, got into his door, and it just set everybody around. Christian Peterson was just doing everything he could, trying to win the race, as was Corey Henry, as was Rodney Walford. Just hard racing on the last lap at Daytona, and that's what you want to see. You don't want to see all the torn up race cars, but you want to see them going after it. This was a non-points race. There was nothing on the line. Just go out there and try to win the race, and that's exactly what every single one of these drivers did right there. They were doing everything they could to try to win the race.
How about Rod Flag, man? I mean, Brian, did you? I really didn't expect that. I mean, I expected the caution. I expected it on the last lap, but just not in that sense. I thought there would have been a lot more wrecks, and it always seems that even if there's a wreck, there's one car. We have at least a car to make it a drag race, but that wasn't the case this time. Rod Flag made it through the wreck cleanly and was able to take home the victory. But I feel really bad for Christian Peterson. He's a rookie, first time out here at the series. He shouldn't be disappointed at all. He ended up coming up in 6th position, so a great start for the rookie here in this series, and I look forward to seeing what he can do in the future.
All right, and as Rod Flag finishes up his celebration, he's going to head down to the Gatorade Victory Lane, and we're going to take a second to do one last little bit of business, and when we come back, we'll have our post-race show, and we'll catch up with our podium finishers. This is LSRTV, the voice of sim racing, and stay tuned.
Did you know that Lion's sense of vision is so powerful, it actually enables nearby creatures to see better? Here we see lions assisting the offspring of others, while their parents are elsewhere in the wild. Brilliant, isn't it? Making the wild kingdom look much better indeed. Do good, be a lion.
Truex in the outside, contact made, 56 slides it into 4, who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy. Welcome back to LSRTV's live coverage of the post-race show here at Daytona International Speedway, where Rod Flag just came home with an impressive victory on a last lap accident that took out many of the front runners, and when the dust settled, Rod Flag came home with the victory lane. And what an incredible race this was from start to finish. We had very few cautions and a lot of action, and as we head down trackside, I believe Jared Haggerty is going to catch up with our second and third place finishers. He's going to start with third place, and then he'll catch up with Dana Osborne as well. Jared, I'm going to send it off to you.
Move him. Yeah, I'm out here with number 88 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. Mark, that was a pretty impressive run there at the end. Tell me about how y'all got up there.
Oh, just finally everybody, kind of removed their head from their asses, and we all kind of started working together there. Just stayed in line, didn't worry about passing each other, this, that, and the other, and was able to knock off that 7-second gap.
But you were able to make it up there all the way for a last lap charge. Was there any doubt in your mind that you could make it up to third and possibly challenge for a win tonight?
Yeah, I kind of had a lot of doubt in my mind. My teammate I guess he kind of pulled a Haggerty there on lap 2 and kind of wadded up a
Hey,
bunch
now.
of cars. So I had to I had to use a reset early on. So I never thought that I was going to be able to come back and finish top 3. You know, luckily them guys junked it.
Well, you came back and did it in style, man. Is there any sponsors and shout-outs you want to give before we let you go here tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to give a big shout out to Mountain Dew for coming on board this season. You know, Kyle Gary for painting the car. You know, this is a pretty badass DW throwback Mountain Dew scheme. Rod Flagg for putting on this amazing league. Y'all guys for all the broadcast. You know, Laura for all that she does with all the video coverage. You know, other than that, just, you know, my right foot and the will to keep on digging.
All right, Mark. Well, thank you. And as always, we look forward to seeing you next week.
Appreciate it, Jared. Thank you.
That is the number 88 Do Shine Chevrolet Mark Jorgensen Jr. coming home in third. And right in front of him, I'm actually going to catch up with the number 8 of Dana Osborne. And Dana, it looks like you had a great run going there. Tell me a little bit about how you got up here.
Just staying in a line, I guess, letting everybody, you know, trying to push us back up to that pack, you know, and then we at there at the 2 to go, I guess, somewhere around in there, 2 to go. We was, what was it? I mean, we had a head of steam. I mean, and they just started wrecking, you know, and I got lucky and got through it.
Well, you came back from 7 seconds, and that was a very big gap to get through there. Tell me about your pit strategy you had going on there, because it seemed like you were trying to work with different people, not necessarily your teammates, but just working with whoever you can there.
Yeah, my teammates ain't here tonight, so, you know, it was all me. I was trying to work with anybody and everybody, you know, and it kind of worked out to my favor, I guess.
Well, you come home starting off season 6 with a second place finish here in the shootout. Is there any sponsors and shout-outs you want to give before we let you go?
I want to thank you guys up there in the booth, and I want to thank Rod for putting this on, man. This is an awesome league, and, you know, and I want to thank everybody that I race with.
Oh, thank you, Dana, and you continue to provide us with plenty of entertaining moves here throughout the season, man.
I appreciate you guys.
That is the number 8 coming home in second today. The number 8 of Dana Osborne, and the only person that was able to come in front of him today was the league administrator Rod Flagg, and Brian Macklin is caught up with him in Gatorade Victory Lane.
Yeah, this is certainly going to be an exciting interview. Rod Flagg, not only does he come home in victory lane, but you are the man that makes all this happen. And Rod, that was an incredible race. I got to start off by saying everybody down there on the track did an amazing job. And at the end of the day, when the dust settled, you were the man on top that came out in victory lane. And that, take us through your perspective of that race and the closing laps and all the exciting battling going on up front between you and Christian Peterson and Corey Henry and everybody up front.
Yeah, all night we just had great pit stops. You know, we were out there, and you know we had this new fuel cell tonight with 70%. So definitely, you know, it was a different challenge, but we had solid pit stops. Pit crew was there all night. And you know, we just kept battling, and you know, it seemed like it would be, you know, Corey up there, it'd be Brandon up there, I would get up there, Shane would get up there. We kept swapping, everybody sell each other out, and we were trying to shuffle it out, and then you know, coming to the white flag, it just, you know, we got this amazing bump from Dana. I mean, I felt like I was getting shot out of a cannon coming up there on that low line, and there's contact up there between the leaders, and seas parted ways, and we made ourselves in the first place, and I was on the backstretch just looking behind me, and I just kept seeing that interval increasing, and I knew we won the race. So man, it's been over a year since I went to victory lane. I wish this was a feature race, but still feels just as good. Still victory lane, still LSRTV victory lane, and damn, it feels good.
And we are extremely excited to have you in victory lane. I know that you said it's been quite a while, and it's always nice to get back to victory lane after a long wait, and we're excited for you. And that was a really good race. If you could have done anything differently, obviously it worked out everything in your favor, but if there was anything you could have done differently to keep the track position throughout the entire night, what would you have done to keep like your teammates up there with you and to make it where you could have had a good finish for all your teammates?
I really don't think we could have done much different. Right after that first caution, we made ourselves up to the lead. We led a lot of laps tonight. It was like 20, 25, something like that. So we were definitely, I mean, we were a contender most of the night, and I think that, we got it definitely up there when we needed to. And I knew once we got past that first pit stop, we were going to be in a really good spot. And then that second pit stop, I knew when we were in the top six, I knew that we were going to have an opportunity to win the race. So, not much better could have happened, I guess. You can't really do much better than first. So, give us really good momentum. I love that we're able to start off iSuper Speed Weeks with the win and the shootout. You're going to have a pretty good starting position in our duel next week. So, I'm ecstatic to have this momentum going into the iSuper Speedway 500 in 2 weeks. It's just exciting to be able to start off season 5 with be the first one in victory lane, because boy, oh boy, you rarely get this feeling. I know Brandon and Rodney and some of those boys, they come in here more often than not, but for guys like me, it's rare. So I'm just gonna continue to celebrate. I'm excited. I really can't say enough. This is awesome.
All right, and before I let you go back and celebrate with your team, I want to give you an opportunity to do a little bit of the business side of things. Of course, this is your series. This is your league. You make everything happen. If there's people out there watching tonight that want to get involved with the iSuper Speedway Series, what's the best way for them to do it, and how do they get involved in the series that you guys put on here every Friday night?
Absolutely. We encourage everybody to go to iSuperspeedway.com and click the link that says it's iSuperspeedway.com/join. We just actually finished our formal recruitment before season 5 started, and we have probably our best rookie class that I've ever seen come in for season 5. Christian Peterson should be evidence of that. I mean, his run was tremendous tonight. We plan on doing another formal recruitment at the end of the season. So again, I encourage everybody to check out our website, iSuperspeedway.com, Rodcar, RODDCAR.com, and check us out. Again, we have the best super speedway drivers in the world, and again, we have the Rod Car Truck Tour that runs pretty much our preliminary race of the evening, and that was a blast of a race to run in. I wish I'd finished 6th in that race, but just we have so many great drivers in this league, and it's so much fun every Friday night, and I just encourage everybody out there. But just want to thank everybody. This is Betty Crocker Ford tonight, so thank you to this awesome Johnny Benson paint scheme, and we'll be bringing out the Pop Secret Ford next weekend for the iSuper Speedway 500. But I want to thank everybody at Rod Flag Racing, and thank some of my former teammates, Frank, Shane, Ray, everybody who makes this thing happen. Just a tremendous evening, and I want to thank Laura. I want to thank Brian, thank Jared, thank Josh for tonight. Everybody who did the broadcast, you guys make us look good on the track, and I know Brian, you stepped in tonight to your last minute, so I really appreciate you coming in here and announcing our series, because we sure appreciate it.
It was a pleasure. It was an amazing race to call, and I have no problems doing it, and I look forward to being able to come back and do this for you guys again. I had a lot of fun up there with Jared and Josh and Bryce when he was with us as well, and we appreciate what you guys do on the racetrack, because you make it exciting and you give us something to be excited about when we're calling it up there in the broadcast booth. And I'll let you go back and celebrate with your team now, Rod. Have fun. Good luck, and we look forward to having you back in Victory Lane. Certainly in the coming weeks, we expect to see you back in Victory Lane. You've got a very strong team, a very fast car, and we look forward to having you back up here in Victory Lane.
Thank you, sir. Woo!
All right, and that is the winner tonight. Rod Flag comes home in Victory Lane, driving the number 26 Betty Crocker machine, as he was speaking of. And now we are going to go back up and do some last thoughts between myself and Jared Haggerty. Jared, I'm going to throw it to you first. This was an incredible race, and what do you have to say coming out of it?
Craziness, man. I mean, awesome craziness. Controlled awesome craziness is what I'd like to refer to it as. I mean, these guys ran an amazing race. I'm very impressed. This first race of the season proved that these guys are ready to put on a great season 6, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. And Brian, I want you up here more often. I mean, it was really fun having with you.
It certainly was a blast up here in the broadcast booth. I enjoyed it. I hope that all the viewers enjoyed this race tonight. Everybody here at the iSuper Speedway Series put on an incredible show, and at the end of the day, we had 2 races tonight, and both ended with the same result: a last lap crash and an unsuspecting person coming to victory lane. First, it was Ryan Pilon in the Rod Car Truck Tour Series, and then here in the iSuper Speedway Series shootout race, we had our admin and the man that makes it all happen, Rod Flagg, come home to victory lane. And this was just an incredible race. It was so much fun, and I look forward to doing this more often. I certainly hope I can be back in the broadcast booth. I hope that we can have more amazing races like this. I'm certain that we will. Everybody down on the track did an incredible job. And before we sign off, I just want to say thank you to Jared Haggerty for stepping in and helping out as well tonight. Bryce Whitson Jr., who had some power issues and was not able to finish the race. He unfortunately was not here to finish it, but he helped out a ton tonight as well. And Josh Ball, who was in this race but helped with the Rod Car Truck Series. I appreciate everybody's help. And for, of course, Laura Lawson, the executive producer, she does so many things behind the scenes, pressing all the buttons and giving us all the really cool graphics and features that we see on the broadcast each and every single time we go on the air. So for everybody here at LSRTV, I'm Brian Macklin, and I am signing off until we meet again. Have a wonderful night and have fun racing. Good night, everybody.